Hey ballers, Squiggles here. Welcome to another match. Thank you to EG actually for making a 2v2 kind of work into their tournament because we are going to have a 2v2 here, a little bit different, a little bit special, a little break from the normal 1v1s that seem to permeate the Starcraft 2 competitive scene. And we are going to have a 2v2 between Mouz Thorzane, or I should say Mouz Thorzane and Mouz Mana versus Empire Cass and Aristeo. So it is going to be a Terran and a Zerg versus a Terran and a Protoss. Yes, indeed. Only one Zelnaga on this map, so that should be hard fought over. But already we're seeing opening builds. I also started a little bit in the game, so we didn't have to go through the awkward encounters of watching everybody. I just made sure that nobody six pooled or anything. But everything's pretty standard. Aristeo went for a pool and then a gas, has not expanded at all. Empire Cass went for the very traditional racks and then got his refinery on 13. Looks like Thorzane went for a 2 racks opening, and that's really cool actually on this map, just so you guys know. If you play Terran, you can actually wall off like this, and you have a little nice gate right there. So that's kind of cool. It looks like Thorzane is pushing across with 1 SCV and a Marine. Looks like 2 more Marines are going to be following, and he's just going to be getting a little bit of map control right here in the beginning of the game. Looks like Mana went for a 1 gate, then went ahead and got an assimilator, then got a cybernetics core, getting his second gas right now and another gateway. So, wow, and that's almost a tight wall. You can just scoot through right there. So the Mouz team is playing pretty safe as far as their building placement. Looks like Cass knows that something is up, going to be putting this bunker down. So his Marines in the bunker, plus the Zerglings swarming around the outside, should be enough to hold off any early game shenanigans that Thorzane decides to pull. Looks like Thorzane is pooling quite a few Marines right now and just continuing to pump out Marines. As I say that, he stops and throws down a command center. But whatever. The theory is still valid. He's getting a lot of Marines. He's going to throw down a bunker, it looks like, as these Zerglings are going to push across the map, at least temporarily. And now it looks like the bottom team, the Empire team, I'm going to say Empire because Cass is on the team. I'm actually not sure if Aristeo is actually on Team Empire, but I'm assuming he is. He just hasn't changed his team name in his tag. So Mouz versus Empire. And it looks like Empire does have the advantage of the Zelnaga Watchtower. Also, nice job splitting Overlords over here to get good line of sight in all these little crazy little areas on this map. But it looks like Thorzane going to go for a fast Expo, a two racks into Expo, getting very, very late gases, getting both of them at the same time though, and now just going to be continuing pumping SCVs and looking to get that very, very, very early expansion out. Doesn't look like anybody else is even trying to expand. Looks like Cass is going to go ahead and go for some siege tanks. Siege mode is already on the way. One siege tank is out, another one coming pretty soon. He has both of his gas as well. Just 1 barracks for Cass right now, so just going to be getting Marines unupgraded. Whatevs, it's all good. And look at this by Aristeo. 1 base lair and instantly throwing down the infestation pit, so we could see some incredibly fast infestors coming out. Looks like he does have, like I said, that good map control with his Zerglings. Do the Zerglings have speed? Yes, speed is done. So they're going to be very happy that they can move just a little bit faster. But I mean, look at this entrance. Everything is split. There's stalkers, there's sentries, there's a bajillion Marines, there's even a bunker, and there's like a multiple wall here. So I mean, the Mouz team is totally safe. It looks like Mouz Thorzane wants to expand, but these Zerglings are going to try to delay as long as possible, which is not going to be that long. Down goes the orbital, and I expect to see, Mana expanding very, very soon thereafter, as soon as it is safe. Looks like Aristeo is going to go ahead and expand as well. And Cass, though, with these siege tanks, could actually put on a lot of pressure, not to mention they're going to be totally safe. But he could put on some pressure. Looks like he's going to be expanding now as well, adding on an additional barracks and more racks. So getting the 1 tech lab and adding on 2 more barracks. So he's going to be trying to get out some upgrades. You can see combat shields on the way. So it looks like he could go for some kind of a timing attack where he gets a lot of Marines with combat shield and siege tanks with siege mode and pushes out. Looks like this pathogen glands. Look at the timing on that. Pathogen glands just finishing right before the infestors pop. Very, very nicely done there. We have a little bit of a skirmish in the middle of the map. Looks like there are way too many lings for Aristeo, so he's going to go ahead and get the Zelnaga, at least for the time being. These guys did spawn in cross-map positions, as you can tell. So, I mean, they have a bit of room to wiggle and maneuver and all that good jazz. Looks like Thorzane throwing down a forward bunker. Just has a lot of units right here and making a nice little wall in the middle of nothing. I mean, it's not really walling here or here, just right in the middle there. But that is okay. He's doing absolutely fine. We can go ahead and take a look at the units tab real quick and just look at the different worker counts. It looks like the Zerg is a bit behind, but that's okay because he has a lot of units. And here comes the attack cost using the superior range of these siege tanks, because you can see here that Thorzane, siege mode just now finishing for Thorzane, and he might be able to actually hold this off. But great fungals going down on those Marines. Is he going to get a second one? Yes, he is. And all of those Marines are going to go down. And actually the Zerglings doing tons of damage, taking out that siege tank, taking out all those SCVs and Marines, and it looks like Thorzane going to be trying to reinforce, but Empire Cost is just in a dominant position right now. Those fungals by Aristeo doing so much damage. Looks like Thorzane trying to take air control. Mana does have Colossus out, and he's going to be trying to push back, but I mean, look at the siege tank spread from Cost, and these Zerglings are just doing a great job of reinforcing, picking apart these siege tanks, and Cost is looking really, really, really well. Empire looking to take a very early victory if the Mouz team cannot pull something together. I mean, they're just they're up against the ropes at this point. Mana does have out a Colossus, and there is more siege tanks coming. So it looks like, boom, there goes one siege tank down for Cost. That is the first step in the Mouz team getting back in this game. Looks like Empire is going to go ahead and pressure the Protoss expansion now. If he can actually get this Observer, no, that's Mana's Observer, never mind. There's no Protoss on this team. But if he can, there we go. Here's the Overlord providing vision. It looks like Mana's base is in a lot of trouble here. These three siege tanks, and I don't think that Mana has enough forces really to go ahead and defend. I'm just checking over here, and it looks like Thorzane has landed a barracks and is pumping out Marines to harass this mineral line. That's incredibly funny, actually. But back to the main action. Looks like Mana, yes, does lose that natural. So nice push by the Empire team. Looks like Cost could actually lose another siege tank. And boom, down he goes. Yes, but now there are roaches out. So roaches, lings, and infestors with quite a bit of energy for Aristeo. And of course, Empire Cost going for the Marines and siege tanks. And he looks like Stim is getting close to being done. So both teams are on 2 bases apiece. It looks like, wow, look at this. What? Thorzane's actually building command centers 3 and 4 at the same time while he's contained, but he's feeling pretty good right now. Let's go ahead and check the buildings that he has. It looks like he has 1, 2, 3 factories, actually getting a reactor on one and getting Blue Flame Hellions, or the Blue Flame upgrade. So he's going to be switching over into a more mech style, it looks like, getting some air power as well with those Vikings. Looks like an Observer leaves the game. That's totally cool. All right, going to be continuing on. It looks like Aristeo going to be going ahead and expanding. This barracks is still alive and just chilling, walking all over the place and seeing what is going on. He has scouted the entirety of Costa's base and now going over to Aristeo's and seeing the same thing. Looks like there is just continued little pokes back and forth as the Mouz team attempts to break the line of the Empire team, but the Empire team is looking like they're in great shape right now. Even have that Overseer out. This Observer has to be careful because the Overseer can probably actually see him, and if these Marines just scoot forward, they could take him out. But they can't get too far forward because there's a siege tank line. So the dead man zone right here in the middle with the Observer just, providing line of sight as much as possible. And it looks like Thorzane could actually move up. No, here comes an Immortal going to be taking the first volleys, and here comes a lot of units for Mana and Thorzane as they close the gap between the Empire team. Fungals going down all over the place. Huge siege tank shots. Huge Colossus volleys going on. Marines doing a ton of damage, but just absolutely getting melted to these Colossus. Nice job by Mana pulling back those Colossus, and it looks like Empire is going to be broken, at least in the middle of the map, as the Mouz team moves out. These Colossus doing a lot of damage, and the siege tanks bringing up the rear. And it looks like Aristeo is actually, what is he doing? There's no actual, he's actually taking fire with these Overlords. I thought he was actually threatening a drop. He doesn't have drop, but I mean, the Mouz team doesn't know that, and they could have been a little bit crazy. Like, oh no, he's doing this, but it looks like, wow. Looks like the Mouz team is now pushing forward aggressively with Colossus and siege tanks and stalkers. And here comes a lot of roaches and a nice look at that fungal. Wow. Such a good job with those fungals, but still not enough damage being done. And it looks like the Mouz team is now coming back. And Mouz Thorzane, is he in range? Yes, he is. And he is going to be sieging up this expansion. If you look on the mini-map, actually we have, it looks like one Marine from Thorzane going to be running over here, putting a ton amount of pressure on that. LOL. And oh, look at that Koss going to be coming over and trying to pick off these Colossus. This Colossus, I can't believe this Colossus is still alive, actually. I'm looking around the mini-map, and it looks like there's a Zergling patrolling, not doing much of any good right there. This barracks still alive back here in the back, doing kind of like map hackish type stuff. And it looks like Mana is going to be pushing on this side, and Thorazane going to be pushing a little bit on this side. And here come 2 siege tanks, but oh no, he doesn't actually have enough to. Does he have enough to kill these? I don't think he does. Oh no, he's going to lose some siege tanks to the Zerglings. Terrible feeling when that happens. Ugh, just the worst. Never mind. He should have just stopped and attacked. There you go. Killed them all off. Easy peasy, no big deal. But look at the siege tank line by Thorazane now. Huge amounts of siege tanks right here. And moving up, stopping this creep spread. You can see the creep is just running away. And a little bit misplaced rally point here, but it looks like it will pay off as he manages to snipe one of those. But he does have 2 siege tanks here, and no, it's not going to pay off, as a whole bunch of units from Koss is going to come back down. And now everybody's going to have to run back, and now we have a new dead zone between the 2 armies. And it looks like Empire Koss does have the air advantage right now. Now I'm looking around. I'm just going to be constantly looking around the map, trying to find drops, kind of like, oh, here we have roaches. It's not really a drop, but we have roaches coming in right here. Going to be putting on some pain on Thorazane's expansion. Looks like he is going to go ahead and clean that up, keep that expo. So pretty good there. And now it looks like Overlord's going to be running. They do not have drop, so not going to be looking at that too terribly much. Mana going to be expanding, taking his 3rd, and it looks like Thorazane's on 1, 2, 3, 4 bases right now, with the potential to get even more. And he has orbitals, I think, at every single base, yeah. So he's relying on a siege tank at each of his expansions to just kind of keep him safe. Here comes some Blue Flame Hellions, going to try to roast this queen. Looks like these Zerglings are actually going to pick off the Hellions as they focus down other things. But oh, here we go. Koss going to be trying to poke out a little bit, and is he just in range of that siege tank? Yes, he is. Going to get a couple siege tanks, but this death line of siege tanks by Thorazane is still here, backed up by the Colossus and the Vikings. I mean, there's also some Stalkers. Don't have Blink or anything started, but that's a scary force right here. And as Koss tries to just poke forward a little bit more, he is taking a lot of volleys, but very slowly working his way in and trying to get some damage done. Just got to be patient. Just got to be patient. Looks like Koss could be going for a drop now. Yes, indeed he is. Meanwhile, look at this. We have a Nidus Worm popping over here by Aristeo into the main of Mana, and he has a Immortal to defend all this right now. Looks like these guys could do a lot of damage. There are a couple of tanks and some other units for Thorazane right here, and Mana's going to be running up here trying to use this cliff to his advantage. Meanwhile, it looks like Mana is going to be focusing down this Nexus, and I believe the Nexus will go down. Oh, he should probably actually focus down the Twilight Council, because it's the one getting the upgrade. And is he going to go ahead and focus it down? Yes, he is. Can he get this tech? That would be a big deal if he does get the tech, and it looks like the tech will go down. So no blink for Mana, at least for the time being. Going to have to rebuild that tech lab, or that tech lab, that Twilight Council. I make myself laugh sometimes. Meanwhile, here's the attack by Empire Koss, moving in here and just focusing down this orbital command. Is he going to get it? He's focusing. He's focusing. It is getting repaired. Oh, it does go down. These Marines with Stim doing so much damage, and now that siege tanks are back and sieged up, he's just going to go ahead and move back. So nice double attack. One attack coming up here, one attack coming down here, and doing quite a bit of damage, actually killing a Nexus and a command center, as well as stopping one of the upgrades, the blink, from finishing. Now it looks like we have more roaches coming in for Aristeo here, putting on lots of pressure on this expansion. It looks like their Marines dropped as well. An additional Nidus Worm is down, and now these Marines actually just absolutely destroying the Vikings that are trying to reinforce here. Now somehow Thorazane has managed to keep this line right here by just keeping the siege tanks, but they are definitely being harassed quite a bit right now as they attempt to clean it up. Looks like they are going to clean that up, as Mana has to retreat with his entire army to deal with that. And now it looks like, oh, here comes some SCVs. Going to run right into the siege tank line. So many SCVs going down. I think that was actually on purpose. I want to say that was on purpose, because he needs more supply. Yes, indeed, he needs more. You can see he's building a ton of Marines. Where are they? Never mind, 2 Marines. That's not a lot. And 2 siege tanks. I thought it was 12. I apologize. Anyway, here comes another drop from Koss, and there's one Stalker from Mana who's going to be trying to stop it. So many Marines coming down, and here comes Mana's entire force again, trying to intercept and stop these drops. And these are very, very cost-efficient drops for Koss as he continues to just run around and do damage. And he's going to see the entire force of Mana. What's he going to do? There's the defensive blink backwards, and absolutely getting roasted there. One medevac going down. Can he get more? Looks like he is going to focus down this medevac. One medevac going down, and the second one goes down, and it was totally full. So quite a big loss there. Meanwhile, here comes another Nidus Worm. Wow, the Empire team is just consistently just harassing. They know that they cannot break this main line right here. Look at all these siege tanks and turrets and everything. So they're just going all around the outsides and doing as much harass and being as annoying as they possibly can. You can see Mana's forces have just literally been running back and forth along the minimap the entire time as they attempt to stem the slaughter of life that the Empire team is trying to wreak on their opponents. And here we come. Zergling is going to be running in here. Instantly lifts is Thorazane, and he's going to be losing some supply depots, and that's totally unfortunate because that's 16 supply per. And it looks like Mana, who does have Blink now, does he have charge? I'm not actually sure. I'm trying to click. No, he does not. But he finally has all of his guys grouped back up in the middle. Thorazane has taken a beating, but it looks like they are stabilizing at least for a little bit. Meanwhile, it looks like Thorazane managed to do some kind of damage here. No, actually, he just lost an expansion. But when I guess the question I have now is when are Thorazane and Mana just going to get fed up and push forward? Now, you have to be careful because this is quite a good defensive line by Koss as well. He could actually take some of these siege tanks and put them like over here and make it more aligned like this, or actually like that in a concave. But, I mean, this is still a lot of stuff. Actually, a nuke would be kind of cool right there. Just saying. But it looks like, Thorazane has unsieged everything. And here comes again this Immortal. Is this Immortal going to be the first? Yes, Immortal is going to be going in now. Everything else is going behind. Immortal taking huge amounts of damage as he weathers the storm of all those siege tank shots. And now look at this huge siege by Thorazane. Going to be moving in here. Offensive blink forward. And so much damage being done. Oh, by both players, actually. They're just slugging it out. But it looks like the combined efforts of Thorazane and Mana are going to prove to be too much here. Nice fungals going down. But I don't actually know. I mean, because it was really 2 versus 1 there for a bit. And there we go. Aristeo is going to leave the game. Empire Koss is following right afterwards. So it looks like the Mouz team, Mouz Thorazane and Mouz Mana, going to take this game down. Pretty awesome, epic game. Nice job by both teams. Man, I love 2v2s. You don't see them enough in professional play, but that was quite entertaining, quite awesome. If any of you guys missed the EG tournament, then hopefully this game gave you a bit of taste of how the 2v2s in a professional style work. Pretty good, pretty awesome. Thank you guys for watching. Leave comments as always. Squiggle signing out. I'll see you guys later.